The air, thin and cold, tastes of blood and success. On the frozen steppe, the fire-bringer clouds runs over the carcass of a long-horned bison, its shaggy coat steaming in the pale sun. Spears of fire hardened you and sharpened shirt-lice scattered, their purpose served. Kale, his knuckles raw and his breath plumbing, helps drive a sharpened femur into the beast's thick hide, beginning the long work of butchering. For 3 days they have tracked this bull, a desperate gamble as their winter stores dwindled to nothing. Now the reward lies before them, a mountain of meat and fat that promises life. The clan works with the silent efficiency born of shared hunger, a rhythm of slicing and grunting that has defined hominid history. This is the essence of prehistoric life, a brief, violent struggle, followed by a fleeting reprieve from the gnawing emptiness in the gut. But in this era, a victory is never final. It is merely an invitation for a greater power to claim the spoils. The wind shifts, and with it, the scent of their world changes from blood to dread. Nea, the old matriarch whose eyes have seen 70 winters, is the first to feel it. Not a sound, but a vibration through the permafrost, a deep thrumming that speaks of immense weight moving with impossible speed. She looks to the horizon, a line of grey against a bruised purple sky, and sees them. They are not the lumbering cave bears of the deep woods, but the true tyrants of this ancient earth, the ghosts of the plains Arctodus simus. It's from a nightmare of evolution. It stands on legs far too long for a bear, a predator built for pursuit. Its short, flat face a mask of brutal intent. Behind it, to more appear, moving with a coordinated purpose that shows the blood more than any winter gale. These are the stone breakers, a clan of their own, and they have learned the sounds and smells of human success. This is their hunt now. The practice of kleptoparasites, raised to a terrifying art formed by creatures of monstrous power and cunning. The humans from a wall of bodies between the bears and the bison. Spears are raised. Shouts, meant to sound fierce, come out thin and desperate. The lead bear, a giant's card male that dwarfs the others, does not slow. It moves in a loping, ground-eating gait that is deceptively fast, closing the distance with terrifying speed. It ignores the spears, the fire, the noise. Its small, dark eyes are not fixed on the shouting men, but on the prize, the carcass. Its path cutting off their line of retreat toward the sparse tree line. This is not instinct. This is tactics. This is a problem they have never faced before in their long struggle for survival. They are not merely fending off a scavenger. They are being outmaneuvered. Nea screams the command, a word like a cracking stone, and the hunters fall back. To fight is to be torn apart. To stand is to be erased. The hard choice is no choice at all. They abandon the bison, their hope, and scramble away, the bear's low growls a wave of triumphant thunder at their backs. They stop at a safe distance, a miserable huddle of shivering life, and watch as the great bear stands on its hind legs, lifts a heavy river stone, and smashes the bison's massive femur with a single, intelligent blow, a skill it has learned by watching them. Hunger is a patient hunter. In the days that follow, it stalks the clan relentlessly, a cold presence in their rock shelter. The children's cries are thin, the elders' eyes are hollow. The loss of the bison is a death sentence delivered slowly. They chew on leather scraps and boiled roots, a pitiful defense against the encroaching weakness. The world outside, this vast prehistoric world, is full of life, but the clan is trapped. Every scent of a potential kill on the wind is tainted by the knowledge that the stone breakers are also watching, waiting. The bears have not just stolen one meal, they have stolen the clan's courage, their very method of survival. Nea watches Kale as he stares into the flickering heart of their fire, his face grim. His knuckles are white around a piece of chert he is methodically chipping into a new, crueler point. He is not just making a tool, he is shaping his rage. This is a critical point in the long saga of human evolution, a moment when despair must either give way to extinction or forge a new kind of intelligence. The decision is made in whispers, away from the ears of the youngest. They cannot outrun them, so they must outthink them. Kel volunteers for the most dangerous task to become a shadow. For 3 days, he tracks the bear clan a ghost footing between glacial erratic and wind-stunted pines. He is not hunting them, he is studying them. It is an act of terrifying intimacy. He watches the great male, the one they now call Stonebreaker, lead its kin. He sees their coordinated hunts, the way they doctor herds of deer into dead ends. He learns their patrol routes, the scent marks they use to claim their vast territory. And he discovers their lair, a shallow cave at the base of a sheer cliff. Most importantly, on his final day, he finds the flaw in their dominance. It is a ravine, a deep scar in the earth carved by ancient water, that the bears use as a shortcut between the high plains and the river valley. It is narrow, its walls steep and unforgiving. It is a natural choke point. He returns, gaunt but with a fire in his eyes that has nothing to do with warmth. He lays it all out for NEA and the other hunters, using charcoal on a flat stone to draw the landscape, the bear's path, the ravine. The air in the shelter shifts from despair to a tense, dangerous hope. A plan begins to form, a testament to the flowering of complex thought in these early humans. They will not fight the megafauna on the open plains. They will bring the beast to a battleground of their own making. The logic is brutal and simple. The ravine will be the jaw and their spears will be the teeth. For the next week, the clan works with a feverish, silent purpose. The women and older children gather pine resin and dry grasses, binding them in 200s of torches. The men, led by Kale, fell young trees, sharpening them into thick stakes. They spend hours hardening the points in the fire, the wood hissing as its cells collapse and harden into something capable of piercing thick hide. It is a massive undertaking, a gamble of all their remaining energy and resources, a crucial test of their survival intelligence. They are crafting a machine of death from wood, stone, and fire, their most precious ancient tools turned toward a single desperate purpose. The bait is a young caribou, killed an hour before dawn and dragged to the edge of the Stonebreaker's territory. Its scent, a rich perfume of fresh blood, is the clan's prayer to the cold morning air. Kale, two of the fastest runners, Elara and Ren, lie in wait. They are the lure. Fear is a stone in their bellies, but the memory of the children's hungry cries is a fire at their backs. It doesn't take long. A shadow detaches itself from the horizon, resolving into the monstrous, loping form of Stonebreaker. It moves with the terrible certainty of an apex predator that has never known a true rival. It sees the kill, then it sees them. They run not for their lives, but for the life of the clan. The ground shudders with the bear's footfalls, a rhythmic, terrifying drumbeat of pursuit. The ravine mouth gapes before them, a dark promise of salvation. They scramble inside, leaping over the first line of sharpened stakes. Kale gives a signal, a high-pitched cry that mimics a hawk. From the cliffs above, the hidden clan members respond. A volley of burning torches arcs through the air, trailing smoke, and lands behind the pursuing bear. The dry grass and resin-soaked brush ignite, and a wall of flame roars to life, sealing the entrance. The trap is sprung. For a moment, there is under the fire and the bear's enraged roar. But Stonebreaker is not a creature of blind panic. It assesses the flaming wall behind it, the spear points of the hunters bristling from the cliffs above, and the maze of stakes before it. Ignoring the spears, thrown with the aid of atlatls that clatter harmlessly off its thick hide and bone, it lowers its massive head and becomes a battering ram, smashing through the lines of sharpened wood, splintering their desperate work with contemptuous ease. It is not trying to escape forward but sideways, clawing at a section of the ravine wall where the rock is weak and crumbling. The trap is failing. NEA sees it from her perch. She sees the terror on the hunters' faces as the beast begins to tear an escape route from the solid rock. The plan is over. Now only survival remains. In that moment, she makes the choice that defines the boundary between animalia and humanity. With a final, sharp look at Kale, she scrambles down a hidden game trail into the ravine floor. She lands, a small frail figure in the face of the apocalypse. Here, beast, she screams, her voice cracking but clear. She hurls a stone that strikes the bear on its sensitive muzzle. The giant turns, its rage finding a new focus. It abandons the wall and charges her. It is the clan's final desperate gambit. As Stonebreaker lunges, its neck and underside are exposed for a single fatal second. Kale does not hesitate. He sets his spear into his atlat, a fluid motion of muscle memory and grief, and puts all his strength, all his clan's hope into the throw. The spear crosses the short distance in a blur and sinks deep into the bear's throat. A gargantuan roar chokes on blood. The beast stumbles, crashes to the ground, and in its final convulsive throes, it crushes the old matriarch beneath its immense weight. The fire crackles. The wind howls. The clan has won its future. They descend from the cliffs not in triumph, but in a somber procession. The fire dies to embers, and in the growing light of dawn, they see the scale of their victory and its price. The body of the great bear will feed them for a month. Its hide will shelter them. Its teeth and bones will form the basis of a new osteodontocratic technology, tools and weapons imbued with the spirit of the monster they defeated. Enya's body is carried back to their shelter and laid to rest in a way reserved for the most honored. This was more than a hunt. It was the dawn of strategy, the birth of a new kind of war fought not with fang and claw, but with foresight, cooperation, and the willingness to sacrifice for the generations to come. This is the brutal, unwritten chapter of Anthropology, a story of how our human ancestors, small and weak, first learned that the greatest weapon was the mind. What is the root of human courage, if not the conscious decision to stand before the coming darkness and burn brighter, even if only for a moment? It is the choice to become the spear, knowing you will break, so that the clan might live. The chronicle is written in scars. The story of humanity is the echo of the Rorits Islands. But the plains were not the only hunting ground.